He is 36 years old and has 7 children. They're all good at pranks. If he had thrown some onions and carrots into the pot, I could have stood him. But it was just a prank to get rid of their 17th nanny. The boss did some math afterward. This time it was 23 hours and 13 minutes earlier than last time. This made Father 13 very angry, but there was nothing he could do. The first 7 nannies were already the best. They were the best in the industry. When 13 wanted to find another nanny, they would close their doors. They can't take his family's word. Otherwise they won't make any money and they'll get a bad reputation. Meanwhile, the kids over here won't stop for a while. If there's no babysitter, they'll torture the big sister who's afraid of rats. Let's see what they do next. First, they used a toy mouse to get her attention. She stood there frowning in fear. And then what? She picks up a rolling pin and yells, "Any rats? Come out. I'm not afraid of you." Meanwhile, the bear boy got off the elevator. He hit her from behind. When she woke up again, she was tied to the table. After the kid tore the kitchen apart, they didn't miss a beat. It was so naughty. They didn't even have a place to stand. They're still dutifully making their dad a midnight snack. Hot and sour mashed potatoes. 13 was troubled. He told the maid, "Yon Hyan, if I can't find anyone to take care of them, I'll blow the roof off." Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. 13 opened the door and saw a very distinctive-looking woman. She had a big nose and big teeth. She had 2 moles. Her name was Nanny McPhee. She came to 13's house of her own accord. She didn't want to be paid. She just wanted a break on Sunday afternoon. When 13 hears this, he decides to put her to work right away. So, this amazing Nanny McPhee, can she control these kids? She puts her brother on the seesaw, but not far away is a boiling iron pot. Let's just say these kids are naughty. They turn the house upside down. No one can control them. They kicked out a dousing nannies. But then, one day, there was this amazing Nanny McPhee. She walked in and made them clean up the kitchen, go back to bed. But the kids didn't care. They just ignored her. They kept playing. McPhee had her own way of dealing with it. They like to play, don't they? So let them play. She took a cane out of her dress and she struck it on the ground. Instantly, something magical happened. The children suddenly started repeating the same action at high speed. They were busy. McPhee said, "If you admit you're wrong, I'll let you stop." But the oldest just wouldn't admit he was wrong.
Until oldest 7 was put on a seesaw, aiming at the boiling frying pan not far away.
It was at that critical moment the boss finally admitted his mistake. McPhee heard it and tapped her stick again. After a puff of smoke, the kitchen was clean and tidy. The children were dumbfounded. They were so shaken that they went back to bed. But they couldn't stop there. After turning off the lights, they whispered to each other how to get rid of this babysitter. The next morning, when McPhee came to wake them up, the boys slapped their faces with flour, dotted with burned red spots, as if they had the chicken pox. They thought they could get away with it. Who doesn't know a trick like that? McPhee played a trick too. She took out her cane and hit the ground hard. The magic happened again. None of them could stand up, no matter how hard they tried. They couldn't get up. After a while, McPhee brought a mysterious potion. The children pretended to be sick and didn't want to get up. Nanny McPhee came up with an idea. She walked over with a bottle of mystery potion. When she poured it out, it was black. Not only was it black, it had bubbles in it. She had the oldest taste it first. Open mouth. McPhee had her sister in the kitchen pick up all the rotten vegetables and meat to make a pot of soup for the kids. They listened in disbelief. "Lo, she's strong. Why don't we give in?" And so it was that when Papa 13 returned, the kids took it upon themselves to apologize. They all said they shouldn't do that in the house. McPhee listened and knocked on his stick again. She lifted the spell of not being able to get out of bed. The next day, 13's great-aunt Maya arrived in a carriage. The purpose of her trip turned out to be to take the pressure off of raising 13. She decides that one of the 7 children, the children won't agree. 7 is 7. Not one of them can be taken away. They talk it over and decide to find a way to get rid of Maya. First, they put female makeup on the pig. Could they get away with it? Of course they can. Maya is an old lady now. Her eyes and ears aren't working well anymore. She treated her like a child. She scrutinized her for 10 minutes. She said, "You're ugly. How can she get married? Is there anything else?" "Oh, lo." Then the family dog and the chickens all came out with their clothes on, and to top it all off, the kid stole Maya's hat and put it on the donkey's head. Maya took out her glasses and looked at it. "That's my hat." The guy was so mad at him, she grabbed a little girl and took her away. But just then, McPhee came back. She's the magical babysitter. McPhee took her stick and hit the ground. The donkey becomes seductive and charming. She winks at you and says hello. She even gets up and dances for you. That old lady over there has poor eyesight. She can't tell what's half a meter away, but she's happy. She's a handsome girl. I'll take her and send her back with me. But on the way out, Xiaoya asked 13 to marry a girl within a month. He must find a way to marry her. Otherwise, she'll confiscate his house. She'll cut off his livelihood. After saying that, Maya laughed. Then McPhee tapped his cane again. Maya went home with the donkey and Jing Hyan. 13's next task was to find a girl to marry, but he couldn't develop a relationship with any girl in such a short time, so he did what he wanted. He came to the company to find a co-worker. He introduced himself to a local girl, Sarah. She had already managed to give away 3 parters. Quite a kleptomaniac, you could say. At the moment, 13 didn't think any of this was a big deal, as long as the mission was accomplished. After all, if Xiaoya really cut off his financial chain, raising 7 children wasn't easy either. Soon, the day of the blind date will arrive. Look at Sarah, all dressed up. She's baring her teeth and the kids are looking at her. Isn't that the evil woman from the storybook? So they decided to give him a piece of their mind. All in all, with one aim in mind, they couldn't let her choose 13. To save money, they made an appointment at the man's house. 13 hands her a plate of dessert. Sierra took it and stuffed it into her mouth without looking at it. She didn't notice the earthworms inside. 13 couldn't stop her, even if she wanted to. 13 was very disgusted to see her chewing it with relish. When Sierra tried to eat another piece, 13 stopped her. "Let me pour you a cup of tea," he said, but what he poured out was something sticky like a passion fruit. When he opened the lid to see, there was a toad inside. That wasn't all. Not long after, a spider flew down from above. 13 was as scared of it as Yamatake. He was so scared that he pounced on Sarah, but Sarah wanted to be more reserved. She stood up and slapped 13 and walked away. In fact, she was happy inside. It looked like the marriage was going to be a success. The bears couldn't accept the result, so they came to McPhee for help. They hoped she could use her magic to stop the marriage, but McPhee's answer was that magic is powerful, but it can't interface with human emotions. Because feelings are complicated, we can only let 13 and others go their own way. Soon, the wedding day arrived. Sarah showed her true colors. She broke old 7's favorite spoon. "Boss, this is the girl from the storybook at first glance. So bad." Then Maya came to the wedding. Sierra was a different person. When she saw how rich Maya was, she got down on her knees. She was trying to get Maya's attention. I'd say she's got a real knack for it. At the upcoming wedding, the bears are about to make a big move. They're trying to stop Papa 13 from marrying this evil girl because they realize that Dad and her don't have any feelings at all. And so the plan of sabotage begins. First, they pretend there are bees. Everyone panicked. They were afraid they'd be made into pig heads. The priest accidentally smashed Sierra with a cake. She's the bride. She can't get married with that. She grabbed the cake and threw it back, right in Maya's face. There was a lot of tension.
Everyone started grabbing the cake. This is a lot more fun than a snowball fight.
Suddenly, 13 and Sadika looked at each other. The two instantly fell in love with each other.
When Sarah saw this scene, she lost her temper. She fled the wedding and it had to be cancelled. The task Maya had given to 13 was not accomplished. She had to stop supporting their family. But that's good for the kid. Then the boss comes out and says they wanted Jen Hyan to marry his father because here comes the new daughter-in-law. McPhee takes out his cane and hits the ground hard. It was snowing heavily at the wedding site. Everyone changed into new clothes. Saduka wore a white wedding dress. They got married with their children watching. At the end of the movie, no one noticed. Nanny McPhee left quietly, for she once said, when she's needed but doesn't want to be seen, she's always there. When she's there but not wanted, she'll leave alone.